be able to listen to this later on after we're
Yeah,
done?
it'll be on YouTube.
Love it.
Am I at the wrong freaking thing?
That's exciting. 'Cause I'm just gonna put it on my podcast website.
I need glasses here because I can't see shit.
You get the closed glasses,
It just sucks because
nearsighted.
That's me.
I'm fortunate enough right now to not have to wear them.
See, here you go. Let's see if I can get this on the air.
If you don't know, Mr. Rizzuto and I work together on WPIX for Yankee broadcasts. And one thing that Phil, who is a dear friend of mine, and I for 3 years now, has called me Seaver. And I'm going to say one thing, it'll be Mr. Seaver.
And they'll be back together this season. By the way, he was asked about Pete Rose, and Seaver said, honestly, I'd like to see that guy in the Hall of Fame eventually.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Talking Baseball with Sal Angioletti. My guest tonight is Andrew Romanella of Fairleigh Dickinson University. Welcome.
Sal, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Anytime, brother. And tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I'm currently an assistant baseball coach and recruiting coordinator at a Division III school, Fairleigh Dickinson University in Florham, New Jersey. Not to be mistaken by Fairleigh Dickinson University in Teaneck, New Jersey. There's also a Division I school.
Oh, wow.
Division I athletics, Division I baseball. I also double down as a podcast host. I broadcast Division II basketball, and I do sales for an independent professional baseball team.
Cool. And did you play the sport as well?
I did. I played up through college. So I graduated and played 4 years at a 2 years at a Division III school, 2 years at a Division II school.
Right.
And then I attempted to play professional baseball, but 5'6" and 160 pounds doesn't really work out for you. And I realized that I was better at throwing the ball over the plate so guys could get ready to hit them really far, as opposed to trying to hit them really far myself. And so then it turned into a coaching career.
That's great because I wanted to play, and I went to Lafayette High School in Brooklyn when I was there. Unfortunately, broke my ankle. I started out as a third baseman and went to the outfield because Dave Winfield was my favorite Yankee, and I always wore number 31 throughout wherever I played, whether it had been softball or baseball. And my father used to bother me. Pitch, every 5 days, pitch. I don't want to be a pitcher.
Right.
And look at all the money these guys are making now. Not even if your last 4 innings, you're making a lot.
Now pitchers just go,
Right.
One batter.
One batter, yeah. Supposedly they're changing the rule.
You know my mom went to Lafayette, by the way?
Where, in Brooklyn? Yeah,
Yeah.
Your father was the first time I had met your dad. We spoke about that. Yes.
Yeah. You had the Brooklyn connection. Because I
Yes,
heard
the
Bensonhurst
old-
before. I was
Yes,
like,
the old Brooklyn accent going on.
Yeah.
They think I'm an alien out here in Jersey.
But it sounds normal to me.
Yes.
Like, to me now it sounds like home,
So, what we're gonna bring up? What did you think of the Harper going to Phillies? Because I knew he was gonna go there. It was like a given, and with the money and the now alleged tampering with Mike Trout.
Well, I did see it on your Facebook that you were predicting a little bit that he was going to go there.
Yes, I did do a poll. Yes.
Part of me, it's 50-50. I am a Mets fan. So obviously, I don't ever want the Phillies to be good. But at the end of the day, it was 50-50. Part of me said, you must be a really good baseball player if you can turn down 2 $300 million contracts, because he turned down the Nationals offer for 10 years, $300 million on the extension. And then it seemed like he was going to turn down the Phillies at whatever number they were at before they got to 13 years, $330 million. I said, that's insane. And I was mad. Take my Mets fanhood out of it. I was mad at the Phillies because if you put a $300+ million contract on the table for a man and he thinks about it for more than, 10 minutes, he doesn't really want to be there. And that was my issue with the signing, is how badly does Bryce Harper really want to be there? And did you just do it because you knew it would sell jerseys like it did? It's done what it needs to do for the Phillies. But what happens in 5, 6, 7, 8 years?
Exactly. I think that's the most years anybody signed.
Yeah.
Because 10 was A-Rod twice with the Yankees. I thought Harper would have signed first, and Machado was a faster signing than Harper was.
And my question back to you would be, do you believe in any of these analytics? Because a lot of the reason why Machado signed before Harper was because this whole WAR statistic. So it's your wins above replacement. Machado had a higher number last year.
It's analytic. taken over the sport.
It is.
It big time because I watched MLB Network a lot, and ever since they've been on the air, and I'm learning, and I'm like, what happened? What happened here? It's like, oh, the guy could hit 330, hit 30 home runs, 100 and something RBIs. Then nobody bunts and runs. Nobody plays the small ball. Billy Ball's been out. I think Buck Showalter was the very last manager to hit and run and bunt and run. And then I'm like, what's going on here? The shift was it's out of control now.
You know what's crazy is all the way up when you teach the game of baseball from little league through college to even lower levels of professional baseball, they're teaching the baseball that you're talking about: bunting, moving runners over, hitting for average, getting on base, and trying to maybe steal bases. You know, that's all we're teaching kids. So these kids grow up learning how to play, call it old school baseball, call it whatever you want to call it. To me, that's baseball. That's how you're supposed to play the game. And then all of a sudden you get to the highest level, the level that matters the most, and now we only care about home runs and strikeouts. And that confuses me.
That's true. And it's funny, I was a little league coach when I was in Brooklyn, and I had the best sign in baseball when I coached the kids. I told them, if I kneel on one knee, that means steal. And it was like,
Keep
it was
it
great.
simple.
One day I forgot to get up a little bit.
And then
the whole team was going.
Why do these kids keep just trying to steal bases?
And that's another thing. Little League is not as big in Brooklyn anymore as it used to be. It's like, you notice Staten Island is big, and I forgot where they are on Victory Boulevard there, where my old sanitation garage was, and they're always in the finals. Or we used to lose to Tottenville High School a lot at Yankee Stadium. We were there twice with Lafayette, and they've always had a great baseball and football team there.
Tottenville's still good.
Yes, they still are.
But I'm going to tell you, Sal, Little League baseball everywhere is dying, not just in Brooklyn. It's dying everywhere.
I know, and I'm like, what's going on?
It's sad. Well, you know what it is? It's the emergence of travel baseball, but more so than anything else, it's the emergence of parents believing their kid is the next Bryce Harper. That's the thing. When Bryce Harper skips 2 years of high school and goes to a junior college and then gets drafted at the age of 17, now every parent whose kid can hit 15 home runs at 12 years old thinks, hey, my kid could be the next Bryce Harper. It changes everything.
Yeah, there is a few travel teams in Staten Island, one of them being at Monsignor Farrell in Staten Island. And my ex-supervisor at the sanitation, his son plays with Charlie's relative of mine. His son, pitcher, I think he played the infield and went to a pitcher. I'm not mistaken. He's doing real well. And they travel. They go to Baltimore, wherever. I think they were in Atlanta not too long ago.
Sure.
That's great. I wish I would have done that. And then, you know what? Is the next best thing is doing this.
Yeah.
Because if I couldn't play, this is what I wanted to do. And because there was a time when I was a teenager and I couldn't sleep, and all I do on a notepad was write about the Yankees and baseball. And my father found my writings. He goes, you should do something about this. And for the rest of the duration, I have dedicated the show to my father, who will be passed now for almost 3 years. So this is all for him. And I said, here you go. I actually got accepted into the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
That's fantastic.
And I didn't want to go because I didn't want to shell out all that money and not know if something would come about. And I met Jerry Petito, and I had an idea about a wrestling show, and I asked her, did you go to school for any of this? And she said no, and the light bulb went off in my head, and here we are.
And
I've been part of thank you, Gene, the Hamilton radio family for now about a year.
And it's beautiful seeing that, because as somebody that aspires to host his own radio show one day, I hope that I can be able to roll up somewhere on Thursday at 9:30 and be with the people that I love and talk about sports.
You could. Your door's always open for you here.
I love it. I appreciate that.
You want to bring some of the players, coaches up one day? I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
too,
absolutely. Yeah, we get a roundtable discussion going on here. That'd be nice.
By that time, we should be in the new digs. He always gets picked on with the building over there.
I keep thinking that too.
But I want you to know that the digs for me here. This is the big leagues right now, from what I'm working with. So this is the big leagues for me.
I feel like a Boomer and Geo because I listen to Boomer and Geo all the time. They're hysterical.
They are. They're good.
It's either on the radio or at home on the CBS network there. It was him and Carton. And I called the show once because I had seen him on the Family Feud that time when it had all the football plays, and I had wind up calling in my car. I was like, oh, he goes, what do you mean? I said, that show was just on. He was hysterical laughing. So it's great.
It's the chemistry that you appreciate.
Yes, chemistry is good. I mean, and if you don't have that, what show is there?
Yeah, it's true.
That's
it's
like
awkward.
It's either a talk show, a match between two wrestlers, or a heel and a face. And if they don't have that chemistry or make the right move, somebody's really gonna get hurt. Like last week, Asuka got hurt, and Mandy Rhodes, getting off the subject, did a move, and the woman fell on her head the wrong way, and they thought she snapped her neck. Wow. And I saw the video. I was like, oh, I felt that from here, and I was like this. But getting back to baseball, Met fan.
Yes.
And back in 2002, I worked for a security company. I worked at Shea and the opening of Citi Field.
All right.
And it was great working at that city.
It's a beautiful place. See, I truly believe in you being a Yankees fan and having been at the real Yankee Stadium growing up, I'm sure.
Yes, the original one.
Why Citi Field is better than the new Yankee Stadium now is simply because when the Mets built that stadium and you worked there,
the owner built it like Ebbets Field,
right? And
the old Brooklyn Dodgers,
and the Mets were terrible, so they needed the fans to have interaction, or they weren't going to come to the stadium.
Yep.
The Yankees were good, so you were coming to watch the Yankees be good. So they made it the exact same as it's always been.
And a lot of Yankee fans don't like the new stadium.
No, they don't.
That's the thing. And I've been there a few games. We took my son before the new stadium. Was it the new stadium we took him? The new stadium. And it was his birthday, and it was like the Grandy man hit 3 home runs that night.
All right.
With seats all the way in the upper deck, they were like $5. The night that was a Tuesday night special or something like that.
It's just not the same when it's not the history.
It's not. You know what? And I went to an old timers game a few years back. One of the guys in my garage, and it was like they said a suite ticket, but it wasn't really a suite. And Steve Wilkos was like sitting in front of me. It was hysterical. I missed the old stadium. I used to be opening day every year, 86 to 93. I went every year.
That's awesome.
Then the tickets started getting expensive. You couldn't buy anymore. Wound up in 96, opening day against the Royals. It snowed. Bob Shepard, the greatest voice ever out there. Rest his soul. And he said, oh, ladies and gentlemen, exchange your tickets for another game. Me and my friend did, and we wound up seeing Dwight Gooden's no-hitter against the Mariners.
Wow.
And Jared Williams made the catch to save it.
Wow. There's always one great play.
Who was Derek Jeter's brother-in-law if nobody knew that?
I did not know that. Wow.
Yes.
That goes into your Yankee knowledge right there.
Yes, because if you notice, he's always at Jeet's.
That's funny.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I will tell you, I was at Johan Santana's no-hitter.
Yeah, I almost went to Coney's against the Expos. I couldn't go because I had to work. And I had given my tickets to my cousin. He saw
That's a fun experience.
Cohn's no-hitter. Well, Al Leiter dropped working for the Yankees now. Is back with the Mets.
Yeah.
Him and Johnny Franco.
Al Leiter spoke at our baseball dinner a month ago.
I ran into Al at a country show when I was working security at PNC Art Center. I was, hey, Big Al.
Great guy.
He waved, hey, man.
Great guy. He's a great individual. He spoke to our players. He was nice enough to talk to them individually. Yeah, I'm excited to see that he's back. Johnny Franco's back. I'm excited to see that. The Mets need direction.
Yes. You know what? I was never a hater of the team. It was the ownership.
Sure.
And when you make a World Series in 2000, even though you lost, okay, now we got to build. We got to make it to the dance. Not if you don't make it to the dance, at least make a playoff game.
Right.
And it's like, okay, what did you do, Will, Fred? And I'm like,
well, didn't they do the
Mo
same
Vaughn
thing?
or Roberto Alomar were your answer.
Right, and didn't they do the same thing in 2015? Make the World Series against the Royals, lose it, and then what have we done since then?
Right.
With the same pitching staff. And see you
Well,
later, Matt
I
Harvey.
always argue. My friends were like, "Oh, the Yankees always bought their players." It's like because Steinbrenner was a smart businessman. He had the resources. He had the network. He had this. He had all Yankees, and they made a deal with the Cowboys. Their brand is so popular outside of the country. It's amazing. Okay, you didn't really buy that many good ball players because you didn't win with Giambi and Messina. They never won a World Series with those two guys. They always got either eliminated in the first round. But it's like, what is your take with with Florida, Tampa, and Miami? I don't know if anybody heard Jeter's comments, and I heard them on FAN today, and it took me back. He goes, and this is coming from Jeter. We can't expect to win every day, and the stadium is nice. Come out and have a family experience. It was like he was lobbying as a minor league ball team.
Yes.
And that took me back a little bit. Okay, what was like they said, what was his purpose of going there?
Right. No, and that's what I wonder about Tampa Bay as well. And some of these teams, it's like, I get it. You can't just go and spend money. And,
Right.
I do want to make a comment on the fact that the Yankees never won World Series when they spent money. They always went it when they built up their farm system.
Right.
But like Tampa Bay, they were talking about how they were trying to build a new stadium, and they thought they had a foundation for that last season, and now they don't. And it's like you go from possibly building a brand new stadium, and then all of a sudden, well, now we don't know if our franchise is going to be here. Why are players going to want to go there? And then you say, Derek Jeter, you have one of the greatest reputations in baseball history. You should make a calculated move here with you wanting to be an owner. Why go to Miami and possibly do what Phil Jackson did with the New York Knicks and tarnish your reputation by being a bad executive?
And he, as he went there, and then you had Realmuto, and you had all the other guys there, and now all of a sudden you cleaned house like the Marlins did after they won those World Series.
Yeah, and it's
Goodbye.
like a minor league system is
Right.
exactly how and that's the best way to describe it. Come see the ballpark and spend money on the food and the drinks.
Yeah, and they just said the guy was it the guy in Atlanta? They're lowering the prices again in the hot dogs, and the food prices are going down. And they were comparing, a family of four. You can't even go to a Knick or Ranger game at the
Right.
Garden because it's so much money because the tolls, and then they're gonna do that. You rented the city at this time, and they're going to charge you the congestion tax and all this other crap that's going on. And they're getting Gangplank in Brooklyn's going up to $19 at the end of March. What the hell is that?
And they don't win.
No, Dolan should just sell the two teams
So why am I getting
and keep the arena.
Yes.
And you lost a lot of business, and he's the guy that lobbied to shoot down the stadium on the west side. You shot that down, but you didn't worry about the Barclays Center in Brooklyn that just took half your business away because they go there because the rent is cheaper. And he's pissed off at Vince McMahon not having any more live events at the Garden like he used to. Well, let's see. You're charging all these high rents for musicians and sporting events. So the Barclays Center's like, come this way. So the Barclays Center now got the Golden Gloves. They got a lot of college basketball. It's not made for hockey because I worked there for a while when I still lived in Staten Island. I was like, not a hockey arena. It's the Islanders are going to wind up going back to the Coliseum anyway because that deal with Belmont, I heard, fell through for a new arena or whatever the hell they were doing because it would have cost too much money to run the Long Island Railroad around the clock for these people.
That's ridiculous.
God up in heaven.
It's funny.
What's going on in Tampa is now they're blackening out the upper deck.
Yeah.
So they're not going to sell those seats. And here's a team that won 90 games last year. Nobody thought they would win anything. And now they're like,
Cy Young Award winner.
And I saw the stadium. If you take a cruise ship out of Miami and you look to the far side over there, you're going to see the stadium because there's a big dome. You can't miss it. It's not too far from where the Heat play to begin with.
People care more about the spring training baseball down there in those 4 weeks.
I always wanted to go to see the Yankees spring training.
It's beautiful.
Might do it next year because WrestleMania is in Tampa next year, so that would be a nice trip. But they'll already be up here to begin with.
Have you been to any spring training?
No,
It is
I wanted to
fantastic.
do the Yankee fantasy thing, but
Fancy camp.
that's $9,000.
So I got a chance to interview Shane Spencer
Oh, I remember that.
in January.
The hottest September of a Spencer for hire, they used to call him.
Very Luke Voigt-esque last year.
Yes.
The way, and Shane Spencer said that fan camp is the most fun you're gonna have. Do it.
Got to do that.
Yeah. He said it's some of the most fun
Got a
you're ever
rubber
gonna
bank
have.
for that.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if you need the help,
I'm not playing any ball without number 31 on my back.
that's fair.
That's
That's fair. Me too, though. Maybe if I have a Mike Piazza jersey on.
There you go, Mike. Don't get me started with Piazza. No, not going in, not out of the closet, Mike Piazza. He was. I was on the field once, and these kids would, Mike, sign my ball, Mike, and he just walked right by everybody.
Oh, that bothers me. That hurts me. That
Unless
bothers
he
me.
didn't hear them, I don't know.
But that, to me, if you're going to be a professional athlete, why aren't you going to take time for the kids? You were one of them one time. It blows my mind. And I got a good story for you, Sal. You'll appreciate this. So I've been the bench coach in an independent baseball team for 3 of the last 4 years. It's in Rockland County, New York. Okay.
Okay.
So we try and get the families that don't want to do Yankee Stadium or Citi Field and spend cheap money and go to a baseball game. And I walk up after my first game being a bench coach, and some kid goes, "Coach, can I have your autograph?" I'm like, "Oh, no, don't worry. You don't want my autograph." And I walked inside. Our manager, we call him Skip. Skip walks in. He goes, "Romo, what the F was that?" I'm like, "What do you mean, Skip?" He's like, "The kid asked for your autograph, and you told him you don't want my autograph." And I said, "Well, I mean, Skip, why does he want my autograph?" He goes, "Someday someone's not going to ask for your autograph, and you're going to be wishing that little kid was there.
Wow, that's a good point. Yeah.
Sign the ball. He could be the only kid in your lifetime that asked for your autograph, and now you didn't give it. One, you don't get that experience, and two, you have no idea what you could have done for that kid. And so anytime someone asks me, I don't care how crazy it is, sign my T-shirt, sign my card, sign this, sign that, I will. And I don't think my signature means anything, but hey, it might.
That's great.
Yeah. So that was a
It's
great
funny. I
lesson.
did that once. My friends who were all musicians, they played a show somewhere at a school, and kid was. I signed it anyway. I was like, there you go.
Right.
That's
And then
great.
you start to appreciate it, like when we have
You know,
autograph
it's a
days.
hot minor league game with the Brooklyn Cyclones and Coney Island.
Sure.
They get a crowd of 8,000 every game.
Yeah, 100%.
The
It's a
Staten
beautiful
Island
stadium.
Yankees, not so much. If they didn't move to where the ferry was and stayed by Staten Island College with the stadium, I think
Yep.
they would have drew more people. Because when the company I worked for did the Staten Island Yankees, MSG, and those two stadiums, and they were like, "Why do we, traveling all the way from that side of Staten Island to come here, and it's not such a great neighborhood." But if you notice, a lot of stadiums aren't in good neighborhoods.
No.
It's to build up the area, and they're hoping to build up the area. And let me tell you, that worked in Coney Island big time, because Coney Island did a big turnaround, and they rebuilt nice.
And after Hurricane Sandy, I believe they made renovations to that stadium too.
Yes, and that was the worst experience of my life, working with the Department of Sanitation. And let me tell you, and I think I didn't have a day off in 3-4 months. And then we had a snowstorm right after that, so it was like devastating. If you ever went to Staten Island, now you think of the beach,
Yep.
think Highland Boulevard, and that's, I think, 4 long blocks up from the water going there to that area, and destroying a lot of
It's insane.
property and restaurants and homes and people dying. And
It's insane.
ugh,
It's sad.
getting to work that day, and I had to drive on the wrong side of the street to go to my garage, and it looked like a Godzilla movie. And I was no lights, no nothing. I'm driving with my brights on, hoping that I didn't see people laying in the street. That's how scary it was.
That's crazy.
And there's people still rebuilding because of that in Jersey and in Staten Island.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you fix this, you got to take pictures, and we'll release the rest of the money. The deal is you got to stay in Staten Island if you want to. Politics, they suck it. Even up, who's De Blasio? Get your balls out of your wife's purse, jerk off. Sorry about that. Can't. I'm glad I've retired. I've probably been fired right now.
Yeah, I feel like I might have just dug up some bad memories.
No. That let me tell you something. I retired after 20 years. I'm now in a year and 4 months retired. You'll know when it's time to go and I'm glad I did. And they say the job gets worse as the years goes along and whatever. If it wasn't for that job, it wouldn't be where I am now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you don't meet the people. You know. I share this to the sanitation pages on Facebook and all that other stuff.
I understand it. It's the networking.
Yes, networking.
There you go.
Where was that when we were growing up?
Well, it happened.
It's out of control.
You just had to call the house phone and ask for the person.
Oh, you had the beeper. I had the sports beeper to get all the sports scores. All right, who scored now? Find that payphone that's working with the quarter and make sure there's no gum on it and stuff.
Well, if you think about it, the kids that I'm recruiting now to college baseball, this will put it into perspective for you, have only grown up knowing cell phones exist.
Yeah, that's it. Nobody. Yeah.
It's crazy, and I was like the last generation that really experienced things really without cell phones being prominent.
So how long have you been doing this now, and how do you get your players prepared? Is there a certain regimen like the professionals and all that?
So this is my 6th year in college baseball. I'll be entering my 4th season in professional baseball. However, I'm trying to move into more of a front office role in the professional baseball world. How we get them prepared, Sal, honestly, as much as it's team-oriented, it's very individualized. As you can understand, baseball is an individual sport within a team concept. So at the end of the day, even though we're working off a team model, each kid is so different that we want to prepare them the same way in terms of understanding what's important before a game, breathing, being positive, understanding that it's a game of failure. So we don't need to go into it worrying about results, just going into worrying about the process and having fun going about that process. Right. And at the end of the day, that last component is what this individual kid needs. Is he a kid that accepts criticism very easily? Can I get on him, so to speak? Do I have to kind of soften him a little bit before I can crack the shell? Right. Those different things. And when you find that on a kid, I just make sure it's before the game and it's positive, and it's nothing more than a quick statement. Hey, let's go. First pitch fastballs. Let's drive.
Because everyone's attitude is different. Like if he strikes out and like he gets the 3-bagger and the strikeout, and he's depressed, and you got to go.
Yeah.
Calm him down, all the other guys and all that other stuff.
And our mindset is, Sal, it's the wolf pack. So you're 0 for 4. Boom. Right. Your 0 for 4 leads to somebody else's 3 for 3. So even though your 0 for 4 stinks, you hate it. It's okay, though, because
do whatever you can to help the team out. You could throw a bunt down. And let me ask you a question now with that shift that we mentioned before. Being a Bryce Harper is getting all that money. Do you say to yourself, okay, you're making $330 million, you should know how to hit to the opposite field or throw a bunt down when the guy's playing at shortstop and stuff like that?
Yes. It frustrates me so much, and I get it. And Mark Teixeira, who's a Yankee guy, always talks about they're paying me to hit balls over the shift. I get that. I don't disagree with that. Mm-hmm. But for me, it comes back to foundation. We teach these kids, and these guys work on it growing up. All hit the ball the other way, see the ball deep, drive the ball to the left center gap if you're a lefty, right center if you're a righty, and good things will happen. Well, now all of a sudden, because they moved one infielder to the right side of the field, we forget that even exists.
It's like, the third baseman is actually playing shortstop. Now, you got to think about it. When the pitcher guy comes around, even if I'm left-handed, because I tried switch hitting, sometimes I had more power to my left than I did to my right, which is the funniest thing in the world.
What's your dominant hand? There you go. You're left-handed. Your dominant hand's on the bottom of the bat.
Yeah.
That's why. Anyway,
so
sorry.
It's like you want to get up lefty, you could throw that like Gardner or anybody.
Slap the ball that way.
Yeah.
Boom.
There's a hit.
It's I think part of it is it's like that I'm a home run hitter, so I don't care what they're doing. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to be doing. It's that mentality, and it's these people growing up now. These athletes, they want to do what they want to do. So I can only imagine how many coaches or managers might be trying to portray to a Bryce Harper or a guy that gets a lot of shifts and says, hey, just see the ball a little bit deeper and just poke it into left field a few times and they'll move. And they say, yeah, I got you, Skip. And then I'm going to see a ball and I'm going to try and pull it and drive it over the shift.
I like Don't You Know Robbie Cano coming to the Mets. That I like their GM. He's out of his mind. I think that's
Brody.
I think that's what they need.
Yes.
Or needed over the years since 2015. Guys got a set on them. Like, nobody's going to push us around. Come on, Fred, open up your wallet. Let me do what I got to do. And Cano's going to help these kids because he's still a great hitter. He's at what, average of 300 hitter?
Yeah, and the steroid thing doesn't bother me because he came back and he hit 300 after. And you watched him. Do you really see Robinson Cano not hitting? That's
No.
one thing I only
Yeah.
see him always doing, just hitting.
That was like Mattingly.
Yes.
If so like David Wright had the same back issues as Mattingly, and, it stinks. They were two great hitters right there.
Mm-hmm.
And Mattingly will probably never get into that's another
A whole nother debate. Whole nother. Oh man.
with this whole Hall of Fame.
Oh, I can't.
I don't know how they do it. Jeter's going to probably be the next other guy with a clear 100% or whatever the hell it is. But Mattingly, Donnie Baseball, he used to hit. Speaking of that, I was at that last game against Baltimore when him and Winfield were going for the contest. When they finished 1-2, I was there, and that's when he beat out Winnie that last game.
There are just certain guys in the Hall of Fame that Mattingly should be there.
There's another guy, for example, Winfield.
Yeah.
He wasn't used to be a home run hitter, then all of a sudden it started hitting for average.
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that. It's like a pitcher that we asked to be a power pitcher and then change the way he throws. CC Sabathia, for example.
Oh. See, I always thought when he lost that weight, that's when the problem started.
Sure, 100%. Body change.
And then now with the heart issue, he's going to be out a while. Sevy's out. But Paxton pitched a great spring training game. I think 3 innings of 5 strikeouts.
Listen, I think that they're going to be okay because their bullpen and the way that the game is trending is so good. They're deep.
Let me tell you something. The Mets, I like that staff. Harvey, I don't know what happened to him.
That's his own issue. That's his own issue.
I thought the Yankees would have grabbed him for free agency, but they left that alone.
But why deal with it?
Right?
Why deal with it? What do you? I'd rather a J Happ. I'd rather have a guy like a Ty Montgomery try and fight into that role. I'd rather trade for a Paxton, see if Tanaka can hold up for another year. I'd rather all of these guys than deal with what Matt Harvey brings me.
Look what's happened the last 2 years. There's still a lot of free agents out there who haven't been picked up. Dallas Keuchel, Kimbrel.
How about that? I mean, these are top line guys.
Gonzalez, Gio.
And
Yankees might grab one of those two.
I agree.
pitchers.
You just took the words out of my mouth. But I think it's going to be later in the spring or earlier into the year.
We got a call?
That's exciting.
Hello. You're on the air.
Hello?
Yes.
Is this Sal and Andrew?
Yes.
Awesome. Hey, I got a question for you guys. This is Rocky and Howell. I was wondering if you guys could talk about the Mets rotation and if you think that Jacob deGrom's salary talks are going to get in the way of his performance and if BGW should go to a 6-man rotation. And I'd like to hear what you guys say about that.
All right, cool. They always say you can never have enough pitching. I don't think deGrom is going to be. I think he's a horse. The guy could pitch. He could throw. I don't think it's going to bother him. If it does, they better do something quick.
Yeah, but I don't. But here's the issue, and I think that the 6-man rotation idea, Rock, is probably a pretty good idea because of health. I don't know what Zach Wheeler's going to do for me. I don't know what Noah Syndergaard's going to do for me. I don't know what Steven Matz is going to do health-wise. And heck, Jacob deGrom's a former Tommy John guy. People forget that. What's his arm like? And he's getting and part of this whole contract extension is age. So I don't think they give him the money. But the problem is, what's going to happen from there because his former agent is now the GM, and that's the only thing that scares me. Is that a rift in relationship?
I don't think so. I think they're going to work out something. He's going to be a Met. And like I said before, I was always a Yankee fan, but I did go see Met games. When I saw that rotation now, brought me back to Siva, Kuzman, Madillac, that kind of rotation. That's the kind of rotation I see now. And hopefully they keep it that way so the Mets could build and be that contender on the other side of the city along with the Yankees.
If they're healthy.
And I would love to see, and we got close to 2 Subway Series, I think it was 06 or 08 that time, and the both had got knocked out in the playoffs. And I like that. And I hope they keep build within the system because the Braves, I think, number one with minor leagues right now.
Yeah.
They're camping, and they always did. Build from the inside. Make that core for like the Yankees did to get that core together with the pitching staff.
I think they could easily be the best pitching staff in Major League Baseball.
Right.
But
And I thought they had that last year with all those guys.
each one of them, those top 4 guys, has to give you 160 innings.
Right.
If they give you 160 innings, the New York Mets are talking about competing for a playoff spot. I think that's what it comes down to.
That's a hot division right now with 4 teams.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that it's going to be a battle. That's going to be some battle. And the Mets will definitely make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
wow.
that with about 85 to 90 wins.
Wow.
Who? Who was that, Rocky?
Yeah, it was my brother Rocky from Howell.
Oh, is that not too far from me?
Yeah.
Another call coming through. That's why.
Oh, we got another one?
Well, it stopped when you were talking. But yeah, my call back.
All right.
All
We're
right.
doing good. I feel like I'm on. We got to get a logo back here somewhere.
Yeah. I like the American flag, though. I like
you
that.
know, that's why my father told me to be a pitcher, because you pitch every 5 days. And it's like now they want to, like I was saying before, they want to set that rule with changing a pitcher now in the relief spot.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking, okay, you got to face 3 batters before you go out, because it was getting a little hectic. Oh, here comes the lefty specialist and this batter, and this guy's got to come out. You know.
I agree, but here's my problem. Then why did we change how many visits you could have to the mound? What was the point of that change?
Okay, we got another caller on here. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, looking to talk to Sal.
Who's this?
Sal, who's this? Mike in Staten Island.
Hey, what's up?
Yes, Sal.
What's going on, Mike?
Oh, you recognize me?
I can hear you. Just turn down your thing a little bit.
Okay.
There's a lot of background noise, Mike.
1 second, guys.
Is that us in the background, Mike? I hope it's us.
All right, got it. Okay, could you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
So, Sal, you know what this is?
Mike from Staten Island.
Right. I used to work with you, Sal.
Hey, what's going on, brother? Shout out to my DSNY brothers and sisters out there.
Yes. I was your favorite outfielder who taught you how to snap them out of the sky.
What's
You
going?
used to crack up watching me catch fly balls.
Oh,
Anyway.
Mr. Mikey Cubiero, what are you doing, my brother?
I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
What's going on?
Listen, just thought I'd mention the fact that you look at today's game versus you were talking about Mattingly before. You're talking about that generation of hitters. That was the generation of the spray hitter, of the hit and run. Today we're talking about the guys who throw 100 miles an hour and hit the ball 500 feet.
Right.
So the game has completely changed, where it's going to be really impossible to compare from 20, 30 years ago.
He's right.
Mike, my question back to you, though, with that, here's my rebuttal. The game has changed in the 162 games leading up to the playoffs, but when it gets down to it, the teams that strike out the least, the teams that put the ball in play the most, end up being the teams that win the World Series. Look at the Red Sox, look at the Houston Astros. You are correct, absolutely. But to win the championship, you still have to bring that old school mentality back into the game, no?
Well, it would be easy to do if we picked it up and go for it in 5 innings. We got to take our millions of dollars in middle relief. When back then there was more complete games. We're never going to see a winner again.
That's true, and that also changes the velocities. You're 100% correct, because now you got guys pumping 97 from inning 6 on.
I played softball with this gentleman. He's some ball player.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mike, you can swing it.
Mike, you tried out with a team, right?
Well, I was with the quarter for 3 years. I went to TJ Rivera. I was playing in the Red Hook Recreational League in Pan American League in Red Hook, Brooklyn, and I played with Jim Bouton's Metropolitan New Jersey League. And I went for Farrah when we were playing ball. He was a kid who was very but at the same time, when he was acting in the outfield, he used to get a kick out of how he put flat balls. He got a kick out of the whole thing, but the sanitation department compared to playing baseball are like two different worlds. But at the same time, as I was explaining to Sal before, what aggregates means, how many pitchers from the 60s, like Bob Gibson and Tom Seaver, can pitch 9 innings. Today, their arms are full.
It's a lovely Staten Island.
Yeah.
Mikey, when you get a better reception, Mikey, call back.
Why, you're not hearing me well?
Oh.
Where are you?
Could you hear me back?
Are you at work?
I'm going to stay. What?
Are you at work?
No, I'm retired.
Are you retired?
Yeah, I was forced off the job.
Ah.
Yeah.
And like I said, I found you on the website. I was told about you, so I figured let me call in and give you that helping hand.
It's great to hear from you, my man. You call in all the time, I'm on the air. You hear me?
Well, listen, I have 2 talk shows I call. Now I'm starting to call you too, but I'm on Satellite Radio with E Street Radio as well. So I call them and I call you now.
All right, great, man. Tell everybody about me.
You got it.
It was great talking to you, pal.
You got it.
All right, Mikey.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Cubiero, another retired Saturday. Forced him up. He had, I think, a back issue or something.
Just make sure he calls back standing on his front porch next time.
Yes, Staten Island is like the worst for service.
It's terrible.
Let me tell you something, because when my mother lives by the mall, if you have AT&T, Sprint, Verizon, nothing in her basement. I had Metro PCS. I had service out there like it was nothing.
It's funny.
And you're paying $1,000 for all these other companies. Here's another one that, it works.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey is a great guy. I played softball with him. We won a championship in softball with our garage in Brooklyn.
I think he's right about his point. You're not going to see any more complete games. That doesn't really exist
No.
anymore.
No.
That's gone.
That's a dime a dozen. Even a guy, if he's pitching a no-hitter, you got to take him out. You know who doesn't believe in innings is who's the
Innings limits? Is that what you're talking about?
Nolan Ryan. Let them pitch because he's involved with the Astros. Let these guys throw, and that's why they get hurt.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of these young kids now are having Tommy John surgery.
So I read something great the other day, Sal, and I think you'll appreciate this. It was an MLB scout, and I think he put it on his Twitter, and it simply just said, if a major league pitcher who is trained and paid to do this job every single day does not come out and throw 100 pitches in his first outing in spring training, then why should a 12-year-old? There's a reason he's doing that.
Right.
And it starts again, it always comes back to starting at a young age.
Stop throwing that wiffle ball around.
Right. I mean, although that's a lot of fun.
It is. We used to play where I lived against the stoop.
Yeah.
And my friend used to keep stats.
Was that the strike zone, the stoop? Was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like they used to make the strike zone in the stoop. That's when I started switch hitting. And I was launching them. If you hit it here, it's a single, a double here, the roof, and it comes down off the roof, it's a home run.
Yeah, my brother who just called in, we use a beach chair. That's our strike zone, and oh man,
the Italian lady across the street. No, stop with the ball.
Yeah, we're in the driveway though. See, except we're actually using her driveway.
She just gets pissed off at us. She used to keep the ball. Don't worry, you got about 10 more.
The problem with the lady in Long Beach Island though is that she never showed up to her house, and all of a sudden one day she did. And we're like, oh, there goes our wiffle ball court.
That's great. We're having a good time here with Andrew. Thank you for coming up.
Thank you for having me.
Like I said, I met your dad. Great guy. He told me about you. Says, all right, I got to email him.
I appreciate it. My dad is a great guy.
We got to get it rolling. Anybody else want to call in and join in on the phone?
Yeah, call on in. I love it. Anytime we can talk baseball, I'm a happy camper.
Oh, I could go on. I could go on for hours.
Sure.
I could do this all day.
Sure.
I could go around the clock with this. Are you kidding?
Yeah. All right. Well, then I guess we could try
Gene,
that.
you ain't going
24-hour.
anywhere, no?
Jeez, around the clock, I'm out of here.
Oh, man. So what else do we want to talk about? The Phillies stacked up pretty good.
Yeah. But it comes back to that being a really good division, though.
I didn't think David Robinson was going to leave the Yankees, but you know what? D-Rod,
That's their one soft spot, though. I don't think they have that strong of a bullpen.
Well, who do they have besides Chapman?
Right. Well, I'm not talking about the Phillies.
Oh, Philadelphia, yeah.
I mean, they might have offensive power now. They might have good starting pitching, but what's their bullpen?
Here's a question for you. Harper now goes there.
Okay.
With these other guys. Free agents say, hey, wait a minute. That team is going to do something in a couple of years. Maybe not this first year. Like he said, don't, during his press conference, don't expect, we're not going to win right away. But
that tells you something, though, huh?
Does it lure a Trout or Kimbrel or Keuchel or whoever? Because next year the outfield free agencies, there's really nobody good, according to what they said. If Juan Lagares is one of the outfielders in free agency, that means
that's terrible.
That's
market.
a terrible market for outfielders next year. But it's is there too much pitching?
I think Harper does attract other players like a Trout to want to come.
I actually think Trout is going to go.
I do too.
I believe so. And you're going to have.
It's the basketball model in baseball.
You're going to have Trout, McCutchen, Harper,
Gene Segura, that kid Reese Hoskins is good.
I mean, that's
Real Muto. That's a good lineup. But here's the other side of the coin, though, Sal. And this is what I keep telling everybody, and it's kind of eye opening when you think about it. Andrew McCutchen, how far has he gone in the postseason in his career? Wild card game.
With the Pirates.
That's it.
I'm so, you know what shocks me? I scratch my head. The Yankees re-signed Gardner, who they were looking to get rid of for the last couple of years in trades. I thought they would have kept McCutchen.
Right.
Hicks is a very underrated outfielder, from what they said. Now, Frazier's I think this kid's going to break out, Frazier. I hope he does. Now, if he does, what do you do? Do you use Gaudy as a chip to get during the trade deadline?
Yeah, I think that is probably the best option. But the question becomes, is Aaron Hicks able to stay healthy the whole year?
Right.
Is Aaron Judge able to stay healthy the whole year? He dealt with injuries last year.
Now, if that team doesn't get hurt, how they did.
Oh, yeah.
And Sanchez
is good.
Looks better now this year.
Semi-decent. It can only go up for him.
Right. That's the whole two big words in baseball. What if?
Yeah.
What if? Very big words. Those guys don't get hurt. That's a different outcome. They're not 8 games behind with the Red Sox. They're nose to nose, but you can't say never.
Sure.
Boston, I think the Yankees win the East.
I agree.
Boston is the wild card. I always thought Toronto was the surprise team in that league for the last 3 years, and they do great, and then they went.
And watch out for the Rays.
So
watch out.
Now they're the team to say, hey, wait a minute, don't forget us now.
And the Red Sox have starting pitching issues.
You can forget Baltimore, forget Toronto.
Talk about minor league teams.
All right, who are your division? Who are your picks?
So
who do you think?
Well, I'm going to take the Braves again in the NL East.
Wow.
Because I don't trust the Phillies because, and just to finish the point, McCutchen only been to the playoffs in the wild card. Gene Segura, who's now their starting shortstop, never made a playoff appearance. JT Realmuto, great hitting catcher, never made a playoff appearance. Bryce Harper, their $330 million man, has only been to the first round of the playoffs. He's been on teams that were supposed to win the World Series.
Washington do that?
4 in a row?
4 in a row. Just like the Braves drinks, you remember?
100%, yeah. Which I loved, though, as a Mets fan, because I loved watching the Braves lose, even though they were so good. That should have resulted in more World Series. So I'm taking the Braves in the NL East. I don't trust anybody else. I love the Mets. Don't trust them. I think the Phillies have a good lineup. Don't trust it. Don't trust the bullpen.
You see the Mets as the wild card? Who are your 2 wild cards then?
Oh, I think Milwaukee's going to end up being a wild card because I don't think they win that division again because that might be hands down the best division top to bottom. The Cubs are going to be good again. The Cardinals have restocked. Cincinnati actually made some interesting moves this year. Not that they'll win anything.
Let me tell you something. That was some trade.
Right. They got Puig. They got Matt Kemp. I mean, they have Joey Votto, who, if you haven't looked at Joey Votto's Instagram and you want to get inside of a Major League Baseball player, go ahead.
Oh, we got a call.
All right. People calling in.
Here you go.
You're on the air.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to talk to Sal and Andy?
Sure.
Yeah, what's up? Who's this?
Is this Sal?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Sal. I'm calling from upstate New York. I saw your YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. I got a question for you. Jacoby Ellsbury is coming back.
Oh, my God, no.
Oh, no.
$60 million they got to give this guy. And I think they should have dumped him and kept McCutcheon, like you said. McCutcheon's got a 500 on base percentage.
With the before Jacoby got hurt, the Yankees were going to make a deal. I don't know if it was with the Padres or Giants for Johnny Cueto. It was supposed to be a one-bid deal contract for the other bid contract, and Ellsbury got hurt. So if Cashman could still make that deal, I would drive Ellsbury to San Diego or San Francisco myself.
Yeah. Well, I think they should have kept McCutcheon. He had a 500 on base percentage.
Yeah, I kind of scratched my head when they didn't sign him. I loved him during the stretch. He started hitting really well.
I mean, I don't think Frazier's going to go anywhere.
I
don't
hope
think
so.
he's going to go anywhere with the Yankees.
Maybe not, but you know what? There's another trade chip right there.
That's a good point.
Yep.
And then you know what? I liked everything that Brian Cashman has done in his career. Jacoby Ellsbury is the one move I scratch my head at.
Well, what about? Well, don't forget when they had Andrew. Who was that?
Andrew Jones?
No, the center fielder they traded for Granderson, Andrew Jackson.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And they traded him one up. Yeah.
But how much? But the money attached to Jacoby Ellsbury is what kind of.
Well, that was kind of ridiculous because he never really hit the ground running at all. Even when they won the World Series in 2009.
It's the same thing I say about Manny Machado. I'll say the same thing about Jacoby Ellsbury and other players. The Red Sox had Jacoby Ellsbury in their building. The Dodgers had Manny Machado in their building, and they didn't want to re-sign him. There's a problem there. That's eye-opening to me, and I'm just very surprised that Brian Cashman ended up making that deal. Very surprised.
Where do you see the Yankees going this year? Is he still there?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, he hung up.
Oh.
Well, whoever that was, we thank you for calling in, and thank you for catching the show. I really appreciate that.
Upstate New York.
Upstate New York.
YouTube. He said on YouTube. That's exciting. Yeah.
My fellow New Yorkers.
Yeah.
You can't tell my Brooklyn accent. Don't worry about it.
You've got in Staten Island, you've got in Howell, and you've got in upstate New York today.
Who else?
Wide range. This is
Wide
good.
range.
This is good.
Wide range.
Visiting and listening, I can tell you that too.
So getting back, before we do the division winners, whether we do it today or when you come back, but
I'm definitely coming back.
what did you think of the realignment? Because Milwaukee was always an American League team, and Houston was always a National League team. My point that I brought up the last show is, let's throw the interleague out altogether. Go back to playing the teams 14 times like it used to be, and now you could play everybody. Try to work out a schedule where a team could play everybody.
So you want to see every team play every team at least once in a given year?
Yes, at least.
I'd appreciate that.
At least, because why do I got to see? And we talked about this last time, right, Gene?
Yep.
You're playing Baltimore 10 times within a month and a half.
Right? It makes no sense.
Why do I don't want to see Baltimore 10 times?
You
What
don't.
what excitement am I getting out of that team?
None.
And the Padres are coming in, I think, in sometime during the summer. Now, of course, you're going to get a ticket sold because of Machado. But why don't I don't want to see Baltimore 10 times within a month and a half. And if you look at these schedules on your computers and stuff, you scratch your head like, here come the Braves again. I'd rather, you see, what the thing is with that is because with the Yankee-Red Sox rivalry, with the Mets and the Nationals, all the Braves, they want to keep it that 19 times because then down the stretch you're playing those teams and it could possibly be for the division.
It could matter. It could matter a lot.
But anything could matter.
I agree. Everyone's trying to avoid that stuff where you win 8 games before it's over and then you start sitting players. You can't avoid that. It can't be avoided. I get it. You want to make the last weekend of the season matter. Here's what I would do. I would take the NFL model. Okay. I play every team in my division, however many given games based off of the remainder of the schedule, right? So then I play every team in the National League. One home series, 3 games. One away series, 3 games.
That's what I was thinking.
Then I take one division every year in the AL, and I play them in a 3-game series. So I'd play, let's say it was the AL East, and then every National League team if I'm the Mets, and then the next year would be the AL West and every National League team, and then the year after
who doesn't
that,
want
boom.
you want to see the world champion Red Sox come into Citi Field?
Yes, you do.
You want to see that matchup with DeGrom and Chris Sale and what's his name, the Yankees other new daddy.
Eovaldi?
No, the lefty. Who gave up
David
Jeter's 300?
Oh, David Price?
Gave up Jeter's 3,000th hit.
He
Home run.
I think he's given up a few 3,000 hits, actually.
He threw that pitch. He was like, oh, Jesus. Come on, you knew you were throwing that.
The Red Sox don't win that World Series if Chris Sale and David Price
Chris Sale's a beast.
They do what they do.
Beast.
Did you know going into that World Series, neither of them had a playoff win? Not one starting pitcher on the Red Sox staff going into that World Series had a playoffs win.
I got to hand it to Aaron Boone. Make his first year. That's something else.
Alex Cora.
Oh yeah, I watched that story on MLB Network. Very, very nice story. And I fell asleep last night during the Jim Abbott one.
Okay.
That was another thing there. No hitter, but he walked 2 or 3 batters that game against Cleveland. But he got the no hitter.
That's what matters.
The way he was making a pull, he switched the glove to his. Oh man,
it's pretty crazy.
Just unbelievable.
Very impressive.
So what else do we got? Anybody else want to call? I can't even see what time it is. I'm like you guys. Oh, there we go. We got 7 minutes.
Oh wow.
Lucky number 7. We could go on all night.
Yeah, we could.
Set up some pillows. Reheat that coffee I got out there.
Can I throw my feet up here? Is that good? We're good there. All right. That's good.
You always get joked around with what Mets means. My entire team sucks. That joke.
Oh, that's funny. That's good.
The Jets just end the season.
Yeah. See, I call the Mets the Jetropolitans or the Metropolitans. So the Jets are the Jetropolitans and the Mets are the Metropolitans because they are the exact same.
There was even a talk of an arena being built where Citi Field was for the Islanders.
Which would have been, I think, way better than their current situation because that's all bad auto shops.
I got a Citi Field story. This woman who's a season ticket holder for the Mets, I got to know some of them because I used to pass through the gate I worked in. My son took me to a Yankee game. What a better classed organization. Now, that was coming from a Mets season ticket holder.
Wow.
I was like, what just happened?
Wow. That's surprising.
Every team is run different.
Sure.
When you get to the ballpark, the merchandise, it's the Yankees got a monument park and this team doesn't, and why do they have all these old timers and nobody else celebrates their players? I think every team should do that.
I agree, but it's at the end of the day, then we wouldn't have individualized owners.
Right. And we want to give a shout out to Tom Terrific and his family.
Yeah.
Unfortunate health issue. I seen him pitch his 300 win against the Yankees when he was a Chicago White Sox.
Wow. Did you know the Mets lost him twice?
I remember the year he came back.
Yeah, and then they
pitched
didn't put him on
against the
waivers,
Phillies.
I think. They didn't
I
put
was
him on
sitting in the upper
waivers.
deck when he came back. It was seat cushion day. Remember those things I used to give out? And when the Mets used to start losing, they would use them as frisbees on the field.
That's funny. It's better than beers or glass bottles.
Oh. That's why as security guards we used to tell the people you have to give us the caps to your drinks.
That's right, they take them off.
Because you could throw them.
You take them off now. Yeah, you get it. You don't have the cap on.
Plastic bags.
So let me ask you, right? Who do you see winning these divisions?
Oh, it's always a battle between the Yankees and the Red Sox. I say the Yankees take it. Red Sox wild card. I see the Cardinals and Cubs battle on that out. Maybe the Cards winning because of Goldschmidt.
Do the Indians run away with the Central again?
I don't know.
Is anyone good? Are the Twins really good?
Are they still trying to trade that pitcher? The Cardinals? I mean, not the Cardinals.
The Indians?
Indians.
Kluber?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think they're staying put for now.
I haven't paid attention to them yet because they don't know what they're doing.
And their division's so bad.
Yeah, that's
not really worthy.
Yeah, they just might win it anyway.
Yeah, I think the Astros run away with the West. Really, you're looking at the usual suspects in the AL.
Two Texas teams in the same division. That's like, why don't you just put the Mets and Yankees in the same division?
Yeah, but then you have to, some teams got to fly to Florida. And yeah, but they got to go to California, so they get the time change.
I don't get that.
Yeah, the division alignment. To your point, and I never really thought about it, so you just said it. Now I'm like I'm looking at the standings. I'm like, he's kind of right. Like, why are the Astros and the Rangers in the same division as 3 California teams? Like, that makes no sense. Like that legitimately makes no sense.
The same thing in the National League. You got the Dodgers, the Giants, and the Padres in the same division.
Yeah, right. And then the Rockies, just there.
Me and you could hit about 40 out of that ballpark, right?
I think we could. You think combined? Or is that individual?
You can hit the overhand. I gotta hit the underhand because I don't think I can see anymore.
Like I told you before, I'm better at throwing the overhand to the people that hit it than I am hitting it. Yeah, that's fine.
Throw over to me then.
You know, I did compete in one home run derby in my life. I hosted it as the head coach at Raritan Valley Community College, and my brother threw us BP, which was cool. I had 2 professional baseball players in it, myself, my assistant, and one of our players. Cool fundraiser, and I hit 11 home runs. Fence was only 305 down the right field line, but I hit 11.
Great.
Real proud of myself.
The only home run derby I win is on PS4 when I play MLB 18.
That's the fun one, though.
And I got to be Aaron Judge because then I won't win anything.
Are you the guy that ever had a video game? Would you create yourself, or
yeah,
would you
I did.
create?
I'm doing it now. I'm in a minor league system. Like I was picked up by the Pirates.
But are you yourself, like your weight and your height? See, I was always the guy I wanted to create like the unrealistic expectations.
Wait, number 31. Surprised my last name fits on there.
That's funny.
Us Italians, we got too many vowels in our name, so it's like somebody goes, "You're Italian?" No, I'm Greek. That's a long Greek name.
And it's always so long, and it arcs longer than everyone else's. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some ball player who I can't think of the team. His last name actually arcs the whole back of his uniform.
Jared Saltalamacchia.
There you go.
He played for the Red Sox. He played for the Rangers, the Angels. Oh, last year I want to say he was back with the Angels or the Rangers, but I wasn't not positive. But I don't think
he was a good catcher.
He was. He's good, real good backup guy. Really good. And I think he was with the Red Sox when they won the World Series in 2011. I think. Yeah.
Did the Mets try to grab him once?
No. I think it was they should have tried to grab him and they didn't. Very Metsy of them.
Oh, who did they grab that year?
Probably Paul LaDuca.
There you go. There you go. Another guy from the Dodgers.
Paul
right?
LaDuca, or I forget who the big guy was. Oh, there was another one. I can't, Sal. I can't. It's bad.
There's too many things. Is it time to go already? Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, that was fast.
That was a fast 7 minutes. That was a fast lucky 7 right there.
That was a fast hour.
We didn't even finish the standings.
We got to set the clocks back.
I think that's next week.
Yeah, whatever we're doing. What are we doing? I don't even know when we're back.
Yeah.
Fourth Thursday.
That's right. When's that?
You agreed.
When's that one?
The end of the month.
April 4th.
No. March.
The end of March.
Oh.
Last March.
Oh, that's right.
Don't worry. You got to remind me because I'll forget.
I don't know if I'm coming or going anymore. That's what happens as you get old.
Things to look forward to.
No, not me. After I turned 50, it was downhill after that. Do I look 52?
No.
See? I can play ball. You think I could make a comeback at my age?
Hey, listen.
I can still run.
There's always a place to play. And you're going to look way younger in your new studio coming up soon. That's exciting.
It's the lighting, you see. All right. We want to thank whoever called in. I didn't get everybody's name. And thanks to the gentleman who caught the show on YouTube. Appreciate it. Get it out there. Andrew.
Sal.
Pleasure. He's going to come back.
I appreciate it.
He make a great co-host.
Oh, I appreciate that.
And in turn, I'll catch some of your games. Good night, everybody, and thank you, Gene, and everybody else at Hamilton Radio. Peace out.